Late evenings settled softly over the Knight family mansion, a place so grand that even the shadows looked expensive, and inside the halls music, laughter, and clinking glasses filled the air as if the mansion itself was celebrating. The Knight family held a special event that night, a small singing competition arranged for entertainment, and the host of the evening was the billionaire's only son, Ethan Knight. The 22-year-old heir who carried confidence the way others carried perfume. He enjoyed attention, lived for applause, and acted as if the world moved only when he stepped forward. While guests gathered around him in sparkling gowns and polished suits, someone far away from the golden lights tried to stay invisible. Maya, the maid's daughter, moved quietly along the edges of the hall, arranging trays, lining cups, and making sure every table looked perfect. She was used to being unnoticed in that mansion. She walked softly, spoke rarely, and kept her head down, as if she believed the walls would swallow her if she made a mistake. Still, she did her work with calm, steady hands. To her, silence was safety. But sometimes, safety breaks even when you try to protect it. As Maya leaned over a tray of fresh glasses, she hummed a soft tune under her breath, something small, gentle, almost like a secret escaping her without permission. It was not loud, yet in a hall full of noise, one person heard it. Ethan. His eyes followed the sound like a hunter spotting movement in the forest. He tilted his head, listened for a moment, and then a slow smirk formed on his face. It was not a kind smile. It was the smile of someone who had found a toy to play with. Suddenly, without warning, Ethan pointed toward Maya and raised his voice loud enough for everyone to hear. "Hey, you! If you can sing this difficult song, I will marry you." The hall fell into quick laughter, sharp and cruel, echoing off the ceilings. Several guests turned to stare at the girl in the simple uniform, their faces showing disbelief. Some whispered loudly, not caring whether Maya heard them or not. "She's only a maid's daughter," one woman said with a mocking tone. "She will never dare," another man added while adjusting his tie with a sneer. Maya froze. Her fingers tightened around the tray, as if her hands were suddenly made of stone. Slowly, she lifted her head. Her eyes met Ethan's across the glowing hall, and something unexpected flickered in them, something Ethan had not planned for. Instead of fear alone, her eyes carried anger and courage, two strange flames burning together. For a brief second, the room grew quiet, waiting to see if she would cry, run, or simply stand there like she always did. But Maya did none of those things. She opened her mouth slightly, ready to speak, ready to say something she might never have been brave enough to say before. And then everything changed. The lights above them flickered once, twice, and then the entire hall dropped into sudden darkness. Gasps rose from every corner. Several people screamed softly. Someone dropped a glass that shattered loudly on the marble floor. In the confusion, a voice from the control booth at the back of the hall shouted, "We lost power!" Someone messed with the system. The air thickened with panic. Guests reached for their phones, some trying to use flashlights, others clutching their partner's arms as if they expected danger in every shadow. Ethan frowned deeply, annoyed that his perfect evening had been ruined. He snapped at his assistant, ordering him to check the electrical room. But Maya did not move. She stood still in the faint emergency light that slowly lit the hall, her face half hidden in shadow. Her eyes were not scared like the others. They were steady, sharp, almost knowing. She stared toward the long, dark hallway near the service area, a hallway the guests never used and rarely even looked at. It was the hallway where she had spent most of her life, carrying trays, returning dishes, cleaning rooms. But tonight she looked at it differently, as if expecting someone to step out, or something to happen that she had been dreading for a long time. Ethan noticed her reaction. Something about it bothered him. Why did she look like she understood what caused the blackout? Why did she seem more aware than scared? He opened his mouth to ask her something, but before he could speak, the guests started talking louder. Who would sabotage the system? Is it dangerous? Was this planned? The whispers grew like a buzzing storm. Some people blamed the staff. Some blamed bad wiring. Some blamed coincidence. But Maya knew it was not coincidence. She could feel it. The darkness felt familiar, like a piece of her past had silently crawled back into the present. Ethan watched her closely, noticing how her breathing changed, how her hands trembled just slightly before she tightened her fists to hide it. For the first time that night, Ethan felt something unusual curiosity mixed with unease. Who was this girl really? And why did her eyes look like she carried a story he was not ready to hear? As the backup lights returned and the hall brightened again, Ethan waited for Maya to return to her usual invisible self. But she did not. A strange calm settled on her face, the kind of calm people have when they know storms are coming. The moment that should have embarrassed her had instead opened a door into something deeper, something old, something hidden. The guests returned to laughing nervously and making guesses, yet Maya remained locked in a silent thought. Why did the lights go out exactly when Ethan challenged her? Was it a warning? A message? A reminder? Something inside her whispered that the night was only beginning. And whatever caused the blackout was connected to her, in a way no one in the mansion understood, not even Ethan. And somewhere in the darkness of the service hallway, a quiet sound echoed, like a soft click, almost like a door unlocking itself, waiting for the next secret to step out. The backup lights hummed softly as they brightened the hall, letting the guests breathe again, though the air still carried tension like thin glass ready to crack. And Ethan Knight stood in the center of it all, trying to act calm, even though irritation and curiosity were fighting inside him. He watched Maya from a short distance, noting how she held her tray tightly, not with fear, but with a strange firmness that did not fit the moment. She did not speak. She did not explain. She did not show panic the way the others did. Instead, she looked like someone who had expected the blackout, as if it was not a surprise, but a signal. Ethan tried to brush off the thought, but it returned again and again, poking his mind. He wanted to demand an answer from her, to ask why she stared at the dark hallway like she knew secrets he didn't. But before he could walk toward her, he was surrounded by guests, complaining about the blackout and asking when the competition would continue. He forced a smile, reassured everyone it was fine, and ordered the staff to check all equipment. Yet Maya's face kept pulling his attention like a magnet. Maya, meanwhile, moved away from the center of the hall, slipping back into the comfort of shadows. She walked with steady steps, even though her heart was beating faster than she liked. That blackout had shaken her, not because of the darkness, but because of the timing. It was too perfect, too direct, almost like someone wanted to interrupt the challenge Ethan had thrown at her. Someone who knew what that song meant to her. She kept her eyes ahead, but her mind replayed memories she wished she could erase, her mother's scared face, her mother's voice warning her never to sing publicly, and the night everything went wrong years ago. Her mother had once been a rising star, a voice people loved, but the fame had ended suddenly, violently, and part of that pain lived inside Maya even now. The Knight family had been connected to that past, though Maya did not know the full truth. Only pieces, half stories, broken memories. Still, she knew one thing. Singing that song was dangerous. Not dangerous like hurting someone physically, but dangerous because it opened doors to old secrets and enemies she thought were gone. When the blackout happened right as Ethan dared her, she understood it was not an accident. Someone had sent a warning. Someone was watching. She walked toward the back corridor to fetch more glasses, but halfway there, she felt eyes watching her from behind. She turned quickly, but no one was there. Only the long hallway, half lit, half drowned in shadow. She swallowed hard, pushed down her rising fear, and kept walking. Meanwhile, Ethan's friends gathered around him laughing again, pretending the blackout was just a silly glitch. One of them, Marcus, nudged Ethan's arm and said, "Forget the maid's daughter. She can't sing anything. She probably doesn't even know the song. Pick someone else." Another friend added, "You scared her. She won't come back." But Ethan didn't laugh. Something about Maya's expression during the blackout stuck with him like a thorn. He couldn't describe it, but it felt wrong to dismiss her. For the first time, his usual arrogance softened and curiosity took over. He wanted to know who she really was. He excused himself and walked toward the service hallway where Maya had gone. The hall was quieter now, almost too quiet. Ethan stepped inside, his steps echoing softly against the walls. "Maya?" He called gently, surprising even himself with the softness in his voice. She turned when she heard him, her face calm but her eyes guarded. Ethan smiled awkwardly, something he rarely did. "Look, I didn't mean to embarrass you. It was just a joke." Maya didn't reply. She didn't smile. She simply stared at him, waiting for him to finish. Ethan continued, "You don't have to sing. The challenge was stupid. Ignore it." Maya finally spoke, her voice low but steady. "Jokes hurt when the whole room laughs at you." Ethan blinked, not expecting the honesty. He tried again. "I didn't mean it like that." She held his gaze. "Then why did you say it loudly, so everyone could hear?" Ethan had no answer. He opened his mouth, but words refused to come. Maya turned to walk away, but stopped when Ethan asked, "Why were you so calm during the blackout?" Maya froze. That question hit too close. She looked over her shoulder and said, "Not everything scares me." "That's not what I mean," Ethan insisted. "You looked like you were expecting it." Maya's heartbeat sped up. She didn't want him digging into her past. Not him, not anyone from his family. "You're imagining things," she said, forcing her voice to sound normal. But her eyes betrayed her. Ethan stepped closer. "What are you hiding?" Before she could answer, a loud clatter echoed from the far end of the hallway. Ethan turned toward the sound sharply. Maya felt a wave of fear wash through her body. She knew that sound. It was the same metallic echo she had heard the night her mother had been brought home after everything fell apart. Ethan took a step toward the noise, but Maya grabbed his arm quickly. "Don't." Ethan stared at her hand, gripping him tightly. Her fear was sudden and real. Before he could ask why, another sound echoed, a slow, dragging noise like someone pulling something across the floor. Ethan's curiosity turned into uneasiness. He whispered, "Who else is back here?" Maya looked at the darkness ahead and whispered, "Someone who shouldn't be." Ethan felt a chill crawl up his spine. For the first time that night, he realized something important. This girl was not just a maid's daughter. She was connected to something bigger, something dangerous, something hidden inside the walls of his own home. And whatever it was no longer hiding. The dragging sound from the dark end of the hallway echoed again. Heavier this time, as if someone was slowly pulling something large or metal across the floor. And for a moment, Ethan and Maya both stood completely still, listening, breathing carefully, afraid that even the smallest movement would attract whatever was hidden in that shadowed part of the mansion. Maya's grip on Ethan's arm tightened without her realizing it, her nails pressing into his sleeve, her body filled with the same fear she had tried to bury for years. Fear she thought would never return once her mother left the music world and hid their lives behind simple jobs in the night mansion. Ethan, who always felt in control, for the first time didn't know what to do. He had grown up in this mansion, believing nothing could scare him inside its walls. Guards protected them. Cameras watched everything, and his father made sure no danger ever reached their family. Yet now, Standing in the dim hallway with only the humming emergency lights above them, he felt a strange chill move down his spine, a cold warning he didn't understand but couldn't ignore. Maya slowly let go of his arm, her hand shaking slightly. "We should go back," she whispered, her voice thin but urgent. Ethan frowned, more stubborn than cautious. No, someone could be hurt. Or someone broke in. Maya shook her head quickly. No one broke in. Not through this hallway. It's locked from inside. Ethan stared at her. Then, who was back there? Maya lowered her eyes. Someone who knows this place better than anyone. Ethan didn't like the sound of that. He took a small step forward, but Maya stepped in front of him, blocking the way. "Don't," she whispered again. "You don't understand. Some people don't want the past to come out." Ethan's confusion grew. He looked at her with narrowed eyes. "What past? What are you talking about?" Maya hesitated, battling with herself, deciding whether to open the door she'd kept locked her whole life. But then the dragging sound came again, followed by a soft thud, like something bumped into a wall. Ethan flinched, but Maya didn't. That scared him even more. She wasn't surprised. She knew this sound. She knew something he didn't. He whispered, "Maya, how do you know who's back there?" She didn't answer. Instead, she said, "Because they always come before something big happens." Ethan felt frustration mixed with fear. He reached out and gently held her wrist. "Tell me the truth. Right now." She looked up at him, her eyes filled with pain she couldn't hide. "My mother didn't leave the music world because she wanted to. Someone destroyed her. And that someone was connected to your family." Ethan froze, unable to process her words. "That's not true," he said quickly, shaking his head. "My family would never." Maya cut him off. "You don't know everything your father has done. There are things hidden even from you." Ethan's stomach twisted. He wanted to defend his father, but the fear in Maya's eyes made him pause. She wasn't lying. She had no reason to. The silence between them grew heavy until the dragging sound stopped completely. The hallway grew colder. Ethan whispered, "We should check." Maya's voice trembled as she replied, "If you go, you won't forget what you see." Ethan clenched his jaw, ignoring the fear rising in his chest. "Then let me decide." Maya slowly stepped aside. Ethan walked forward cautiously, and Maya followed close behind, her hands trembling, her breath uneven. The deeper they went, the colder the air felt, as if the hallway itself was warning them to turn around. The lights flickered weakly, and for a moment they were swallowed in darkness again before the light steadied into a faint glow. Ethan whispered, "Whoever is here is not supposed to be." Maya whispered back, "No one ever is." When they reached the end of the hallway, they found a side door slightly open. This shocked Ethan, because that door was always locked. It led to the storage rooms where old equipment, old documents, and old secrets were kept. Ethan pushed the door open slowly, expecting someone to jump out. But there was no one inside. Instead, they saw something lying on the floor, a large metal music stand, knocked over and dragged across the room. Ethan exhaled slowly, a bit relieved. It's just a stand. Maybe it fell. Maya didn't move forward. She stayed near the doorway, her eyes fixed on the shadows. "Things don't move by themselves," she whispered. Ethan walked deeper inside, scanning the room. Nothing else looked disturbed. No sign of a person hiding. No broken windows. No footprints. Yet something felt off, a strange energy in the room, like the air was holding its breath. Maya stepped forward, her eyes landing on a small object near the stand. A broken music sheet clip. Her breath caught. She knelt and picked it up. Ethan frowned. "What is that?" Maya stared at the clip like it was a ghost. "This belonged to my mother. She used it in her last performance." The one that ruined everything. Ethan's heart dropped. How did it get here? Maya shook her head slowly. I don't know, but someone wants me to remember. Someone wants me to sing again. Ethan felt a chill deeper than before. Suddenly the emergency lights flickered again, and the door behind them slammed shut with a loud bang. Maya gasped and grabbed Ethan's arm. Ethan tried the doorknob. It was locked. Someone had locked them inside. He pounded on the door. Who's there? Open it! From the other side of the door came a low voice, soft, almost mocking. Some songs should never be sung again. Maya's face turned pale. Ethan slowly turned toward her and realized something terrifying. Whoever locked them inside wasn't trying to scare them. They were trying to warn her. The moment the door slammed shut and locked itself, the room seemed to shrink around Ethan and Maya, trapping them in silence thick enough to feel on their skin. And the single weak emergency light above them flickered, making shadows jump across the shelves filled with dusty boxes and old musical equipment. Ethan pounded on the door again, but it didn't move even a little. Whoever had locked it from the outside was either already gone or standing quietly in the hallway watching them, and that thought sent a slow chill down his back. Maya stood frozen near the fallen music stand, the broken clip still clutched in her trembling hand, her face pale as if she had seen a ghost from her past. Ethan turned toward her, his voice low but firm, trying to stay calm. Maya, who said that? Do you know them? Maya shook her head, but her eyes told a different truth. She knew something. She remembered something. She felt something that Ethan could not understand. She whispered, that voice. I've heard something like it before. Long ago. Ethan stepped closer. Tell me. Maya closed her eyes for a moment, as if gathering the courage to speak. Then she took a shaky breath. On the night my mother quit music forever, someone visited our home. They warned her not to sing a certain song again, the same song you dared me to sing tonight. I didn't see their face, but the voice. It had the same coldness. Ethan felt his stomach twist. Why would someone do that? Why stop her from singing? Maya looked at the clip again, her fingers tightening around it. Because the song carried a truth someone wanted buried. Ethan frowned deeper. What truth? Maya shook her head. I was too young. I only remember my mother crying. She said she trusted the wrong people. Ethan wanted to argue, wanted to defend his family, but something in Maya's voice made him hold his tongue. She wasn't guessing, she was remembering. He knelt beside her, forcing his voice to remain steady. Maya, look at me. If my family was involved, I swear I'll find out. But we need to get out of this room first. Maya nodded, though her fear wasn't gone. Ethan walked to the shelves and tried to find something to break the lock. Most items were too old or too weak. While he searched, Maya kept looking toward the closed door, half expecting the voice to speak again. The quiet in the hallway outside was unnatural, as if the entire mansion was holding its breath. Suddenly, the emergency light above them made a buzzing sound and flickered more violently. Ethan glanced up. Great. Last thing we need is the lights going out too. Maya stepped closer to him, her voice slightly shaking. Ethan, someone doesn't want me to sing that song, and they don't want you to know why. Ethan turned to face her fully. Then that's exactly why we have to find out. She shook her head. You don't understand. You don't know how dangerous this is. Ethan moved closer, lowering his voice. Then explain it. Help me understand. Maya swallowed hard. After my mother stopped singing, she told me never to let my voice be heard in public. She said if I did, the past would return. The people who hurt her would find us again. Ethan exhaled slowly. And when I challenged you, it triggered them. Maya's voice was barely a whisper. Yes. Ethan reached for a metal rod lying on a box. It was old but heavy. He went to the door and hit the lock with all his strength. The sound echoed loudly through the storage room. He hit it again, then again. On the third strike, Maya grabbed his arm. "Stop," Ethan turned sharply. "Why?" Maya pressed her ear against the door. "Listen." Ethan listened too, and what he heard made his blood run cold. Soft, slow footsteps on the other side of the door. Not rushing, not scared, calm, waiting. The kind of footsteps that belonged to someone who wasn't afraid of them. Ethan held the rod tighter. The footsteps stopped right outside the door. Silence followed, thick and unnerving. Then the same voice from earlier spoke again, soft enough to sound almost gentle, but carrying a warning underneath. "Leave the past alone." Maya stepped closer to Ethan, fear gripping her like ice. Ethan shouted back, "Who are you? Show yourself." The voice replied, "Your father wouldn't want you involved in this." Ethan froze. Maya's heart dropped. Ethan whispered, "My father? What does he have to do with this?" The voice did not answer. Instead, the footsteps moved away slowly, disappearing down the hallway until there was nothing but silence left. Ethan quickly grabbed Maya's hand. "We're getting out now." He shoved the rod into the gap of the door and pushed with his full weight. The lock creaked and finally snapped, the door bursting open. They stumbled into the hallway, breathing fast, eyes scanning the empty corridor. No one was there, only cold air drifting through the dim lights. Ethan turned to Maya, his voice firm. "Whoever that was, they know my father, and they know your past," Maya whispered. "What now?" Ethan looked toward the main hall, where the guests were still unaware of what was happening behind the scenes. "Now," he said, jaw tight, "we find out what my father is hiding." Maya stared at him, scared but hopeful. Then they heard another sound, distant footsteps running toward them. Ethan grabbed Maya and pulled her behind a pillar. As the footsteps drew closer, Ethan recognized a voice calling out. It was his father, and he sounded furious. Ethan stood frozen in the middle of the hallway, staring at Maya like he was seeing her for the first time. The way she sang had shaken him, but the way she protected him had changed something deep inside him. Maya, on the other side, felt her heart pounding as she watched the security team drag Mr. Crawford away. The man kept shouting that Maya was lying, that she was manipulating Ethan, that she was just a maid's daughter trying to trap a billionaire's heir. But Ethan didn't listen this time. He looked at Maya, then at his father, and for the first time in his life, his voice trembled as he said, "Dad, why did you hide all this from me?" The guests, staff, and guards all stood silently, waiting for the billionaire's response. Mr. Knight took a deep breath, his face turning stiff. "Because she does not belong in our world," he said coldly. Maya felt those words like knives cutting into her chest. She lowered her eyes, fighting tears. Ethan stepped forward. "But she saved my life tonight, and you still treat her like she's nothing?" His father's stare sharpened. "People like her are dangerous when they get too close to someone like you." Everyone gasped. Maya's fingers curled tightly. She wanted to defend herself, but she was scared that one wrong word would ruin Ethan's relationship with his father forever. Before she could speak, Mrs. Knight walked into the room. Her face was pale, but her voice was strong. "Daniel, that's enough." Mr. Knight's eyes widened. He rarely heard his wife speak in such a tone. "You're blaming the wrong person," Mrs. Knight continued. "Maya has never caused trouble. She has never asked for anything. And tonight, she risked everything to protect our son." Whispers spread around the room like a wave. Maya stepped back, overwhelmed. Mr. Knight clenched his jaw and said, "She should still stay away." Ethan could not take it anymore. He grabbed Maya's hand gently, surprising everyone. "No, she stays with me." Maya's breath caught in her throat. She tried to pull her hand away, but Ethan held it tighter, not to trap her, but to show he was finally choosing something for himself. Mr. Knight's face turned red with anger. Ethan, you are being foolish. She will destroy your future. Do you even know who she is? Ethan stepped in front of Maya, shielding her. Then tell me, who is she? The entire mansion went silent. Even the security stopped moving. Mr. Knight opened his mouth, then closed it again. He looked trapped, like he was holding a truth he didn't want to release. Maya's heartbeat sped up. Her mother's warnings flashed in her mind. Never talk to the Knights unless necessary. Never let them know what you carry. Never let them know the truth about the song. Ethan's mother noticed Maya's panic. She stepped closer, slowly, like approaching a frightened child. Maya, sweetheart, is there something we should know? Maya shook her head quickly. No, ma'am. I don't want any trouble. I just work here. I only sang because he dared me. I didn't want to hurt anyone. Ethan turned toward her, his eyes soft. You didn't hurt anyone. You saved me. Maya's throat tightened. Her eyes became glossy again. But now everyone hates me. Ethan shook his head. Not everyone. Many staff members looked down, guilty because they had whispered about her, mocked her, or ignored her. Mrs. Knight gently placed her hand on Maya's shoulder. You have nothing to fear from me. But Mr. Knight suddenly shouted, she should fear me if she doesn't tell the truth. Everyone jumped. Maya's legs started shaking. Ethan went cold. Dad, stop yelling at her. Mr. Knight raised his voice even more. Then answer me, Maya. How do you know that song? Maya froze completely. Her lungs stopped working. Her hands turned cold. He figured it out. Ethan looked confused. Dad, it's just a song. No, Ethan, his father snapped. That song is not just a song. It belonged to someone I pray you never have to remember. The guests exchanged terrified glances. Some had heard stories. Some had not. But everyone could feel that something dangerous was hiding in this family's past. Ethan turned slowly toward Maya. Do you know what he's talking about? Maya's lips trembled, but no words came out. She felt trapped, cornered between truth and fear. Mr. Knight took a step closer. Tell me where you learned it. Maya whispered, barely audible. From my mother? Ethan blinked. Your mother? Maya nodded slowly. She used to sing it to me at night. Mr. Knight's face turned white. His voice shook violently. What was her name? Maya hesitated, but then softly said the name she had protected all her life. The moment that name left her lips, Mr. Knight stumbled back like he had been punched. Gasps filled the air. Ethan looked completely lost. Dad, what is happening? Mr. Knight stared at Maya like she was a ghost. But before he could speak, something crashed in the next room. A loud, sharp sound. A scream. The lights flickered again. And someone shouted, Everyone move. Someone broke into the east wing. Panic exploded through the hallway as people rushed around. Maya felt Ethan grab her hand again, pulling her close. Stay with me. Don't let go. But deep inside, Maya already knew. Someone from her mother's past had just arrived. And the real danger was only beginning. Chaos rushed through the mansion like a storm. Guests screamed. Guards ran toward the east wing. And the musicians threw down their instruments as the lights flickered again. Maya felt her heartbeat hammering in her chest, while Ethan held her hand tightly, refusing to let her slip away. The scream that echoed earlier was still ringing inside her ears. Something deep inside her whispered that this was not a normal break-in. This was connected to her mother, the song, and the secret she had tried to bury all her life. Ethan wanted to run toward the danger, but Maya pulled him back sharply. No, don't, she whispered. Ethan stared at her, confused. Why? She swallowed hard, her voice shaking. Because whoever is there, they're not here for you. They're here for me. Ethan froze. He had heard strange things tonight, but that sentence hit him harder than anything else. Maya, what are you saying? She opened her mouth to answer, but Mr. Knight suddenly rushed forward, grabbing Ethan's shoulder. His face looked more terrified than angry now. Ethan, stay behind me. Guards, take Maya away from the hallway. Maya stepped back quickly. No, I didn't do anything. Mr. Knight glared at her with a mixture of fear and frustration. That's the problem. You don't know what danger follows you. Maya felt dizzy. Danger from whom? Mr. Knight took a breath, ready to speak, but the mansion alarm blasted again, louder this time. Intruder detected. East Wing. The robotic voice repeated the warning as red emergency lights washed the walls in a bloody glow. Ethan grabbed Maya's other hand and said, I'm staying with her. You can't stop me. Mr. Knight clenched his jaw. You don't understand the risk. Ethan looked straight into his father's eyes. Then explain it. The billionaire hesitated. Everyone watched him. Even Mrs. Knight stood silently, her hand shaking. And then Mr. Knight said words that silenced the entire hall. The man in the East Wing. He knew your mother, Maya. Maya felt her breath disappear. Her legs almost gave out. Ethan stepped closer to her. Her mother? What do you mean? Mr. Knight looked exhausted, like he had been hiding this truth for years. I recognized the way she sang the song. She sings exactly like her mother did. And her mother disappeared after a terrible incident. The man in the East Wing. He was the last person seen with her. Maya stared at him, shocked. What incident? What happened to my mother? Mr. Knight lowered his eyes. I don't know, but I know she left behind powerful enemies. And one of them just entered this house. Maya felt everything inside her collapse. For years, her mother had warned her, stay away from people with money, Maya. Don't let anyone hear the song. Don't trust the Knights. But she never explained why. Maya turned toward Ethan, tears gathering in her eyes. I didn't ask for any of this. I just wanted to work quietly. I didn't want to cause trouble. Ethan cupped her shoulders gently. You didn't, someone else did. But you're not alone now. Maya looked down, trembling. You don't understand. If that man is here, he wants something from me. Something my mother left behind. Mr. Knight nodded slowly. Exactly. Ethan frowned. What did she leave behind? Maya whispered, a recording. Mr. Knight's eyes widened. Oh no. Ethan turned to her, confused again. A recording of what? Maya breathed shakily. My mother singing the original version of the song. She said it could destroy people if it reached the wrong hands. I thought she was just being dramatic, but she told me to keep it hidden forever. Ethan swallowed hard. Where is it? Maya shook her head. Safe, but if this man is here, he knows. He's come for it. Suddenly, a guard ran into the hall, breathless. Sir, the intruder escaped into the old music room. He's holding something, some kind of small black device. Maya's stomach twisted. She knew exactly what that device was. That's my mother's memory drive. Ethan grabbed her hand. We have to get it back. Mr. Knight stepped in front of them. No. You two are not going anywhere near that man. But Maya took a step forward, her eyes blazing with a strength she didn't know she had. You don't understand. If he unlocks that drive, he will use my mother's song to blackmail your entire business empire. Mr. Knight's face drained of color. That song nearly destroyed my company once. If it comes out again, he didn't finish. He didn't have to. The danger was clear. Ethan looked at Maya, then at his father. If this is about your company, then you definitely need Maya. She knows more about the song than any of us. Mr. Knight hated it, but he nodded slowly. Fine, but she does not go alone. Ethan held Maya's hand tighter. She won't. I'm going with her. Maya took a deep breath, steadying herself. She didn't feel like the maid's daughter anymore. She felt like someone walking toward the truth she had run from all her life. The guards began guiding them toward the east wing. The lights flickered again. A cold wind rushed through the corridors. And somewhere deep in the mansion, in the old music room, a man hummed the same haunting lullaby Maya had sung earlier. Maya froze. He knows the song, and now he was calling her with it. The real confrontation was waiting for them. And Maya understood clearly. The past was no longer chasing her. It had arrived. The old music room was colder than the rest of the mansion, like the walls still remembered old secrets. Shadows stretched across broken instruments, dusty curtains, and cracked mirrors. Maya stepped inside slowly, Ethan right behind her, and the guards spread out across the hallways. But the moment Maya heard the humming again, her heart almost stopped. The voice was calm, slow, almost gentle, but it carried a coldness that made her bones shake. A tall man stepped from behind the old piano, dark coat, sharp face, eyes that looked like they had never known kindness. He held the small black memory drive between his fingers like a treasure. Ethan stepped in front of Maya instantly. "Give that back." The man smiled without warmth. "Ah, the young heir. Brave, but foolish." Maya forced herself to speak. "Why did you come here? Why now?" His eyes shifted to her, and for a moment, something like recognition crossed his face. "You look like her," he said softly. "Just like your mother when she was your age." Maya felt the air leave her lungs. Ethan looked between them. "You knew her?" The man nodded slowly. "I did more than know her. I made her famous." Maya frowned deeply. "My mother was never famous." A low laugh left his throat. "Not to the world, but to certain people, her songs were gold." Maya's hands curled into fists. "She told me you were dangerous." "I was," he said calmly. "Still am." He lifted the memory drive. This little device could ruin the Knights and many others. She recorded everything: names, deals, secrets hidden under that beautiful voice. Ethan's jaw tightened. "So you killed her?" The man's smile faded. "No, I never touched her. She ran from me. She ran from all of us after she found out what her voice was being used for." Maya trembled. "Then what happened to her?" The man met her eyes coldly. "Ask your father." Maya froze. Ethan turned sharply toward Mr. Knight, who had just entered the room with more guards. His face was pale, like his past had finally caught him. Maya whispered, "You knew my mother?" Mr. Knight raised his hand slowly, almost helplessly. "Maya, I didn't know you existed. I didn't know she had a child. But yes, I knew her. She worked with our company for a short time. Her voice, it had a power that could move people or destroy reputations. People wanted it. They wanted to use her songs to manipulate markets, investors, and public opinion. She realized too late how dangerous her gift truly was. And when she tried to walk away, they chased her." The man beside the piano laughed. "Who do you think hired me to find her?" Guards lifted their weapons, anger burning in their eyes. Ethan stepped closer to Maya. "Your mother wasn't just a singer. She was fighting something big." Maya wiped tears from her eyes. "Then why did she hide everything from me?" Mr. Knight's voice softened. "To protect you. She vanished so no one could trace her. But she must have known someday. The past would find you." The man stepped forward. "Enough talking. Give me the code to unlock the drive, Maya. Your mother made it clear only her daughter can open it." Maya stepped back, terrified. "I don't know any code." Yes, you do, the man hissed. She hid it inside the song. The last line is the key. Maya shook her head. I don't understand. Ethan suddenly held her shoulders. Try. Think. What was the last thing she always sang? Maya closed her eyes, trying to remember her mother's voice. Not the version she sang in the mansion tonight, but the soft lullaby her mother whispered when she was small. She hummed the melody slowly, trembling. The man's eyes widened. That's it. Maya sang the final line as she remembered it. Where truth sleeps in the heart, no lie can survive the light. The memory drive suddenly blinked, unlocking in the man's hand. Guards shouted and rushed forward, but the man moved fast. He grabbed Maya, pulling her close, using her as a shield. Ethan shouted her name. Maya gasped as cold metal pressed against her neck. One step closer, the man warned, and the girl dies. Ethan froze. Mr. Knight raised his hands. Let her go.